What is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a brand new FanBoyPotion video for WWE 2K16. We are continuing our road to Money in the Bank, of course, on our Universe mode. So, of course, if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like. Let's go ahead and aim for 500 likes. Hopefully, we can hit that goal eventually. Nonetheless, we have a heck of a show for you here tonight. Now, it has become official. It will be indeed the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. However, even though that match has now become official, next week there is a chance that the primetime players will still be added to the contest for the tag team titles. So we might end up with a triple threat of tag teams going at it. So we will see, of course, what that matchup exactly will be. But from what we understand, the primetime players will be put in a position to potentially be added to that matchup next week. Nonetheless, we kick things off with Big E representing the New Day taking on Sin Cara. Of course, Sin Cara just last week was able to defeat Xavier Woods in a singles contest. Big E steps up tonight and he says, listen, you had an advantage over Xavier. He's smaller than you. You were able to confuse him with your shiny mask. That's what he said. And then after that, he was able to essentially just kind of, get on the nerves of Sin Cara. He eats a big right hand for his troubles. We get into a singles contest. Big E was able to secure the win after landing the big ending. Nonetheless, we then move on to the women's division as the women's champion, Nikki Bella, is able to come up short a little bit against Cameron after Sasha Banks, well, you have to believe it was Sasha Banks at least, messes with Nikki via as Nikki was going for the cover to win the match after the rack attack. All of a sudden, Sasha Banks' music hits, and Sasha after the match, well, this creates a distraction. Nikki Bella messes up. Quick roll up by Cameron, 1, 2, 3. Cameron is absolutely in tears and joy, and that she was able to just pin the women's champion. But after that, Sasha Banks comes out with the microphone and says, oh, sorry about that. They must have played my music a little bit early. I only meant to come out after the match. But come on, that's the kind of mental warfare you got to respect by Sasha. Nikki has done it to her as well, and Sasha's just returning the favor. We then move on to our first qualifying matchup of the night for the Money in the Bank match. So far, Sheamus and Luke Harper have qualified for the Money in the Bank match, and tonight, Kane qualifies for the match after Triple H puts together a Kane versus a local talent in Dan Pillar. He says, hey, listen, Jim Taxi last week defeated Fandango, so why not give another local talent a chance at a life-changing opportunity where he or she may be able to win this match and join the Money in the Bank contest? Well, unfortunately for Dan Pillar, he comes up short against Kane. Kane was able to get the victory in record time of 42 seconds. We then move on to the next qualifying contest of the night where Bad News Barrett representing Raw, this is the promotional matchup between Raw and SmackDown. Ryback representing SmackDown, Bad News Barrett representing Raw. Ryback able to get the victory here tonight against BNB, and that, of course, also adds him to the Money in the Bank matchup, bringing our grand total right now to all the competitors within the match to be 4 in the form of Ryback, Bad News Barrett, Sheamus, and Luke Harper. So those are your 4 competitors right now in the Money in the Bank match. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in our main event of the evening, it will be Dolph Ziggler versus Roman Reigns. Very interesting, of course. Roman Reigns still furious because he believes that he was quick counted out of that match against Brock Lesnar. At this point, Roman Reigns is not in a position to challenge for the championship again. He's lost twice to the current champion already. So obviously he has to kind of, work his way back up to a number 1 contender spot. Now, again, I will be honest, there are several people that have agreed with Roman that was a quick count. There's several people have disagreed. And one of those people is Dolph Ziggler. He's come out here after Roman was throwing another hissy fit in the early get-go of the night. And he said, look, dude, you got to get to the back of the line, okay? I'm ahead of you now, and if there's anybody that deserves a shot finally around here, it's me. Roman Reigns then says, well, let's try to settle that here tonight. And, well, that's how we've arrived at this contest right here. It's DZ, Dolph Ziggler, versus Roman Reigns. This is going to be an interesting contest because I don't think we've seen these two compete before in a one-on-one match. So this will be interesting because, again, this is the first time that we've seen these guys in this particular formation where it's a singles contest. Roman Reigns, very frustrated. You can see the guy is not happy. The fans are trying to get a hold of him, and he is not having any of it. So we'll see how this thing goes, but I'm very, very intrigued to see whether or not Roman Reigns is going to be able to keep his cool in this match or not, because, well, we've definitely seen a very different Roman Reigns since last week. Oh my goodness. Big right hand right away with a clothesline by Roman. And you can see the crowd is very much still in belief of Roman. They want to believe him, and look at this. This is what we saw him pull off against Brock Lesnar, where the belly-to-belly suplexes, which he did point out and said that he believes that that was a weakness that Brock Lesnar has shown, is that he was prone to get suplexed that way. But look at this, though. Dolph Ziggler as well, just like Brock Lesnar, able to figure out a counter to Roman Reigns and gets him on his back quickly. Boom, big knee drop after that as well. And he's got the former #1 contender in trouble. Of course, John Cena is the current #1 contender who will be challenging Brock Lesnar at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Look at this now. Quick shot, grabs the neck, and what was that? Roman Reigns just showing a very different side of himself. Like, that was a despicable maneuver. What was that? That elbow right to the back of the neck. Well, first of all, let's keep the fact that the referee should probably actually keep an eye on shots like that. And my goodness, this championship hunt has really just turned Roman Reigns into a different person. Like, I seriously don't know if it's done anything good for Roman, or at this point, if it's made him into just maybe a guy that he really does not want to be. Oh, look at this, though. Counter by Dolph Ziggler. Nicely done. And the big knee by DZ. He goes in. Oh, look at that. Nice jawbreaker to Roman Reigns. Very, very good timing there by Dolph Ziggler. Who now works on the arm of Roman Reigns. Really just kind of returning the favor there, I think, to Roman after that shot to the back of the neck. Of course, Dolph has had a very, very serious concussion just a couple years back. So again, that's why, not really the most sportsman-like actions here from Roman Reigns. I'm very surprised by that, of course, because it's not something that we've really seen out of Roman at any time, at least, since he's been in the, oh my goodness, WWE. Look at that again. Just smashes the head of Dolph Ziggler. Really almost trying to take advantage of the arena more so than putting up a wrestling match here. Oh, look at this, though. Dolph Ziggler counters with a big maneuver there. Oh, and again, that jawbreaker slash face plant. Dolph Ziggler trying to separate the count here. Breaking up the count at the 5 count. Realizing that he was very, very close to potentially getting himself and Roman counted out. Interestingly enough, though, Dolph obviously doesn't just run into the ring, and he could have probably stayed in the ring and potentially secured a count-out victory. Instead, breaks up the count and allows him and Roman to continue the battle on the outside. Of course, I think that there's something here where Dolph is almost trying to prove that he can wrestle with Roman here. He's calling Roman back into the ring. Roman Reigns slides right back in and the big clothesline as well. Dolph Ziggler was just about to go out. You could tell he was approaching the ropes after doing that little taunt there, having a little bit of fun. Of course, that's why the fans love him. He's always been all about entertaining the fans, that's for sure. I think in some aspects he will agree that that has sometimes cost him to come up short in some of the matches, but very impressive DDT there by Roman Reigns. Now goes for another maneuver, and look at this. Oh, and again that elbow. Oh my goodness, the noise that elbow makes is just brutal. My God, that is just insane. That elbow is so brutal. How can that be a legal maneuver? The referee has got to really make sure that... Wow, there's that Superman punch, but my God, that elbow, it's just so... The noise, that thud, it's not even a smack noise. It's a very, like, strong thud when that elbow connects with the back of the head like that. That is just unbelievable. I've never seen Roman go for that move before, and... Wow. I mean, it is... Look, without a doubt, it is working for him. Oh my God, there's that spear. He spears him right into the steel steps. And look at this now, Roman Reigns. Dolph Ziggler is just lifeless. Roman Reigns setting up this table. Dolph Ziggler just barely trying to crawl up, using the legs of Roman Reigns to try to get up. And look at this now, Roman. He's got him up. Oh no. Oh my God, there's a powerbomb there from Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, he's screaming for him to get up. I think he wants to put him through that table. He's screaming for him to get up. And Dolph is just unable to crawl even up. And look at this now, Roman Reigns slides into the ring at the 9 count. What the heck? What the heck, Roman? For a dude that said he wants a fight, certainly didn't seem like it. I mean, a win is a win, but I am seriously... Like, Roman has got to start questioning this new attitude of his. This is not the Roman Reigns that we saw before. The guy that was proud of his family and fighting and all that. What happened to that Roman Reigns? Who is this guy that's been popping up in the last few weeks here? I mean, look, on the other hand, I guess you got to agree. Look, he won the match. But at what cost? At what cost, Roman? Well, I guess we got to move on to Smackdown, our next show here. But very interesting turn of events there. And very bizarre turn of events as well. And especially because... Wow, are you serious? So after Roman Reigns wins... Triple H's music hits. What the heck is he doing here? And what do you know? Triple H announces after the results of the match that Roman Reigns has been qualified for the Money in the Bank match. And the two of them shake hands. Well, that's not suspicious at all. Oh, Roman, what have you done? What have you done? You have signed a deal with the devil, as they say. Oh, yeah. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for SmackDown, and on SmackDown, Nikki Bella is able to get the victory because tonight, Sasha Banks again tries to pull off a bit of a trick on her as she turns on her music once again, but this time, Nikki Bella, not distracted, does not buy it, stays with the cover, gets the 1, the 2, the 3 against Layla here tonight. We have our fatal 4-way contest of the night to qualify for the Money in the Bank match. This was the final spot for the match. Of course, at this point, it's been Roman Reigns. It has been Sheamus, Ryback, Kane, and who else are we? We're missing someone, aren't we? Ryback, Sheamus, Kane, Roman Reigns. Oh, no, I think that was all. So this is the second to last spot, sorry. To qualify for the match tonight, it was a fatal 4-way contest between Dan Pillar, R-Truth, a local talent, I should say, Dan Pillar, R-Truth, and Bad News Barrett, as well as Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose returning in a very, very big way because tonight he wins the Money in the Bank match, which will, of course, give him a briefcase that he could then utilize to not only potentially win the Intercontinental Championship back, but he could be the future WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We then move on to the women's division as Emma once again makes her presence known on SmackDown. She has been putting on a clinic over on SmackDown. She's been just putting on a great match after great match after great match. The consistency with which Emma has been winning definitely has raised a lot of questions about when is she going to be getting a championship opportunity, which she might just very well be the next one in line. We then go on to yet another contest for the night here as the Adam Rose from the Social Outcasts comes to the ring, and he He is supposed to have a contest here tonight against Bray Wyatt, but it is then Ryback who comes out here, and he's been having a little bit of a back and forth with Bray Wyatt on Twitter. These two have gone back and forth publicly, really humiliating each other and having a little bit of a verbal warfare, so to speak, towards one another. Ryback has questioned the athleticism of Bray Wyatt and the shape in which he's in. He says that all this spooky kooky nonsense is supposed to distract us from the shape that the dude is in, when meanwhile the big guy is ready to compete. Well, tonight it was Bray Wyatt and Ryback. Really, it was a triple threat match, but let's be quite honest, Adam Rose was out of this match within about a minute and a half, to when then it came down to just Bray Wyatt and Ryback. And at that point in time, when we saw Bray Wyatt and Ryback competing one-on-one, that was a very special moment. These two behemoths clashed in the middle of that ring, and it was, again, the assistance of Luke Harper, Braun Strowman, and of course Eric Rowan that helped Bray Wyatt secure the victory tonight. However, the biggest shocker came after those events occurred, because it was at that moment that once again Triple H's music hits. He comes out and says, well, what you didn't know was that in that match, the spot for the Money in the Bank was up on the line. And guess what, Ryback? You're no longer in the match. And Bray Wyatt is. He comes down to the ring, shakes Bray Wyatt's hands, and of course the Wyatt family lifts the arms of Triple H. It certainly is starting to look very much like an authority-driven matchup in the Money in the Bank contest. I mean, you look at that lineup. Kane, Roman Reigns has just seemed to show some type of an alignment, or at least some type of a coexistence finally with the Authority, which was very shocking. I really did not expect for that guy to sell out, but okay. I mean, you want to call it whatever you want to call it, but let's see. And now Bray Wyatt is in that spot as well. I mean, Sheamus as well. It's not looking good for Dean Ambrose. That's all I'm going to say for that particular situation. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in our main event of the evening, it will be Daniel Bryan, of course, the Intercontinental Champion, going one-on-one against Neville. Neville, a guy who has said that, look, I've been winning matches here on SmackDown, but for some reason, nobody seems to realize that I have, and nobody seems to want to give me a shot. So what I got to do around here to actually earn a match that is meaningful, a match that is significant, a match that I can win and, you know, start building some type of momentum for my career around here? Well, would you behold as that music hits and Daniel Bryan comes out and says, you want a shot? Look, dude, I know exactly where you are. I was there just a few years back. So tonight, I'll give you an opportunity. Tonight, it's you and I in the main event of the evening. Daniel Bryan, Intercontinental Champion, versus Neville. I think that is a stellar act by Daniel Bryan. It really shows you, again, just how good the guy is as a person, giving another fellow competitor a shot. And look, Daniel Bryan has told me personally he believes that Neville is one of the most difficult puzzles to crack on the SmackDown roster and overall the WWE roster, because he says that, look, Neville's not the same size as all these other guys. And him being smaller actually makes it more challenging, because you're used to wrestling towards a bigger target, and this time he's got to wrestle smaller, he's got to wrestle faster, he's got to wrestle with more endurance. And I thought that was a very interesting point by Daniel Bryan. I mean, it really does create an interesting element between these two guys, because what does this force for Daniel Bryan to adjust in his wrestling style? What does he need to do to face off against Neville in a way where he can be victorious? Because again, Neville's going to present very different questions for Daniel Bryan to answer. Daniel Bryan is, again, over the last 4 or 5 years, has wrestled guys that are substantially or let's say a bit all the way up to a lot bigger than him. He's not been wrestling guys his size or smaller, and this is going to be a very interesting task for him. He says this brings him back to his indie days where he used to wrestle that way. So we will see what that means, and I'm very, very excited to see these two guys compete here tonight. Here we go. They lock up right off the bat, and Daniel Bryan is marching Neville into the corner. Again, not something we see from Daniel Bryan, a lockup. You see, again, this right away shows you the difference of styles. Oh, look at this, though. Neville with a couple of big shots, and now it's Neville who locks him up. He's got a good handle on Bryan's neck there. Takes him over with a nice little quick hip toss. Very nicely done there. Oh, and the big right hand as well. Lands on the Intercontinental Champion. Quick pace here from Neville. The big DDT as well. This is going to be a very interesting match overall to call. I'm very excited about that. Quick cover here from the high flyer that is known as Neville. The referee is going to have to be really on his toes because these guys move quick, and he's got to move quicker to stay out of the way. This is going to be an interesting moment. Quick knee there by Neville, and then the quick right forearm right to the temple. Very nicely done. Look at that, though. He's got a hold of Daniel Bryan now. And what's he got here? Ooh, beautiful counter, though, from Daniel. The Intercontinental Champion really putting on a clinic in terms of the technical wrestling side of things. Big suplex, again, not the kind of maneuver we see Daniel go for all that often because size permitting, obviously. He can't really go for those types of maneuvers all that often. But look at this now. He's got Neville here in a little bit of trouble with an interesting inverted, almost like a chicken wing hold there. And look at this, though. Neville with the counter. Leap over into DDT again. Nicely done. Neville now working on setting something up. Nice dropkick as well. Very interesting match so far. I have to say, this has been an incredibly close contest here between Neville and Daniel Bryan. Neville's got a hold of him now. He's got him up. And the suplex delivered by Neville. Interesting. Very, very intriguing. Seriously, this is just such an intriguing matchup to see. Just the technique and the level with which, the precision with which these guys are competing is very, very intriguing. Look at this now. Neville to the outside, over the rope, and the dropkick right to the chest of the champion. Follows that up with a quick cover, hook of the leg, referee down, 1, 2, and the kick out by the champion. Of course, this is a non-title match, but a very, very significant victory could be attained by Neville here tonight if he's able to pin or submit Daniel Bryan. That would be huge for the career of Neville, who of course was frustrated in the early get-go of the show where he said, look, what do I got to do to get a significant match? I've been on cruise control in this locker room. I want a chance. And Daniel Bryan has given him exactly that here tonight. Look at this now. Big twisting forearm there from Neville. And he's got Daniel Bryan up. Potentially in trouble here. What's he doing here? Ooh, quick headlock takeover. And again goes for that hold. Seems like I don't know why he seems to go to that hold, even though Daniel Bryan has clearly shown that he's able to counter out of that. Look at that little takeover, though. Nicely done there by Neville. By Neville, sorry. Quick suplex as well. Beautiful execution. Neville over the top rope. Jumps over. Oh, goes for the 450 splash, but misses. Neville eats the mat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. Thank goodness he's wearing that mouth guard because I can't imagine that he would have been okay, especially his teeth, after that landing. What a beautiful double underhook suplex there from Daniel Bryan. Again, this is the kind of offense we don't really see from Daniel all that often, so I'm just very intrigued to see Daniel Bryan almost wrestle a very different style than what we've come to be used to. Look at that DDT. Beautiful delivery there from Neville, who's got a hold of the champion now, and the headlock takeover. Look at this now. Oh, but the counter from Bryan as well. And this match has seriously just been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. One move from Bryan, one move. Oh, wow, what a move, what a move, what a move by Daniel Bryan. That was amazing, into the armbar. What a counter, the big right hand from Neville, who jumps over the top rope again, goes up, oh, almost countered, and then the big kick to the rope. I mean, Daniel Bryan, punches the rope from underneath the feet of Neville. Neville trying to create just a little bit of room. Ooh, the European uppercut, that landed hard. Quick kick out before even the 1 count. Neville, wow, you have got to admire Neville's heart. This is amazing. He has really put up an incredible performance already. I mean, Neville's stock has skyrocketed just by the fact that he's been able to hang in there with Daniel Bryan. Oh, and look at this, though. Again, another submission hold. Not anything, again, not something that we see from Bryan against anyone. Like, for example, his series of matches with Dean Ambrose just a little while back. Didn't really see any of this offense. Oh, what a shot by Neville, who now heads up to the top rope. What's he going for here? Oh, the moonsault. It seems like a lot of the high-risk maneuvers for Neville have not really paid off here tonight. There's the one. And he kicks out just before the 2 count there. Referee very, very close to hitting that. And Daniel Bryan once again going for the submission hold. Very interesting approach by Daniel, who oftentimes himself implements a lot of high-flying maneuvers tonight, really keeping it grounded. I think he realizes that as good as he is of a high flyer, Neville is that much better, so he's trying to keep Neville grounded, and I think that's what all of these submissions are really supposed to do, is I think he's really trying to buy himself enough space, enough real estate, so to speak, on that mat so that he's able to get the respect of Neville and slow him down enough to be able to start delivering some offense of his own. But look at this now, Neville! Oh my God! What a move by Neville. Neville spikes him down with that inverted Hurricanrana. Oh, and another dropkick. That dropkick has just been amazing for him. He's gone to that thing like 3 or 4 times. Bryan, keep up into the dropkick. The flying dropkick by Neville, who hits the big maneuver there. And look at this now. Daniel Bryan trying to crawl up. Bryan's in big trouble here. Boom! The hammer, the axe hammer right to the back. And once again, Neville is up top. To the top rope he goes. Oh my God, the inverted 450 splash cover. Hook of the leg. 1, 2, 3. What? Did Adrian Neville just pin the Intercontinental Champion in the middle of the ring? Wow. Can you say wow? Wow. That was insane. Who would have thought that was going to happen? I mean, I don't even think Bryan did. When he gave this opportunity to Adrian Neville, I mean, Neville grabbed the opportunity and ran with it. You can definitely say that because, oh my googly moogly, what a turn of events. That was amazing. Look at that big elbow there, the counter into that dropkick. That was, I think, the most successful maneuver for Adrian Neville in terms of just stopping any type of momentum that Bryan was able to build. Look at that, boom. There's when he missed that moonsault. I mean, he went to that top rope over and over and over again. No matter how many times it failed, he knew that if he just kept going to the top, he would be able to end up on top and get the victory here tonight. Look at this splash. Look at the way he delivers that. He starts inwards, turns outwards into the 450. I mean, that is insane. I have to say, it would be very interesting to see Adrian Neville versus Daniel Bryan 2 with that Intercontinental Championship on the line. That was a very impressive performance by Adrian Neville. We'll see what happens as this story continues to unfold. Thank you so very much for watching. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed today's episode of WWE 2K16, please don't forget to leave a like, and I will hopefully catch all of you lovely folks here next week. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.